self-care is not selfish. It's actually the biggest part of showing love that you could offer to your family, your friends, and your community.
As women, we nurture and take care of the world. And so it's just so important to make your health, your self-care numero uno. So
get around people who are going where you want to go and who are where you want to be. And that's exactly what I did. I wanted to be in real estate, so I got around people who were doing things in real estate that I wanted to do.
So you might not be able to move things around or change what happened to you, but if you can change the way that you see it and how you're reacting to it, there's a way.
Just do what you have to do. There's no excuse. This morning, I knew that if I didn't get up at 4 in the morning and clear out my emails and do everything that I needed to do.
You don't want the government to dictate or a judge to dictate how your hard-earned sacrifice and wealth gets distributed to your family and your loved ones.
Our culture is embedded in American culture. There are people who come to America and engage in American culture, which is Black culture. So Juneteenth is really about Black culture, and it's about celebrating us, celebrating the different diasporas of Black people, even the dialects.
You need a full-time job for health insurance is actually a myth. As a travel nurse in New York, I used to get so stressed out about health insurance in between contracts until I found out about New York State of Health. They make it easier, more affordable, and are a trusted resource to accessing and managing your health insurance. And what's great is that there's a plan for everyone. And enrollment assisters and brokers are here to help online, by phone, or even help in person. So check out New York State of Health to learn more and stay up to date on your health insurance needs.
Hello, everyone. I'm trying to get my positioning together. I got a new chair, so it's a little higher, lower. I'm working it out. But anyway, hello, everyone. I'm Athenia Rodney, CEO and founder of Juneteenth NYC, and I am always happy and thankful to have you here joining us on today, on this Thursday, this miraculous Thursday of the month. What is today? What's the 20th? Of August, and we are doing some things. Today we have such an amazing person that is joining us. I'm going to tell you a little bit about him in a minute, but before I do, I want to talk about some stuff that we got going on, right? So we are doing a lot of things. A couple of you should have gotten some emails from us. We have our back to school event that is coming up at the end of the month, just next Saturday. So if you are in New York City and you are looking for some back to school supplies, please go to our website so that you can register. We want to make sure that you have what you need in the community. That is what we do. That is who we are as individuals. We're always pouring back into our community so that we can grow. However, and we got to pour into our babies, our kids, because they are the start. And secondly, we are doing a leadership workshop. So I am authoring with a leadership workshop. So we send out emails about that. So if you are interested, we're doing some orientation sessions and we would love to have you be a part of that. All right. So now I got some of the business out of the way. I am now going to do a little bit of an introduction about who we have coming to the stage on today. So today, guiding us through this powerful conversation is Mr. ELI, professionally known as Shot of Adrenaline, a media professional, educator, entrepreneur, and youth advocate who has turned his own music industry experience into real opportunities for the next generation. And so funny because I was on a workshop all morning, and I'm going to, after I leave here, I'm going to go back to this workshop. But we were just talking with a DJ on how he is able to turn his business, or has been able to turn his business into working capital for corporate entities. And it is so important to be able to do it. So I do have some questions I'm going to definitely be looking to connect and ask ELI off script. I'm off script type person. So even though you get the script, don't feel like we're gonna stay there. But after building experience through Hot 97 and Rock Nation, okay, and later creating his own media company, Tacton, I hope I'm saying that right, Media, Eli founded the Two Alive Tour, an initiative that has connected more than 1,400 young New Yorkers with workshops, paid internships, and hands-on professional experiences. And that is pretty dope, y'all. Today, he also teaches music marketing at Five Towns College. Dope. One of our best DJs went to Five Towns College, so to Five Towns. Helping young people understand that creative careers are not just about talent. They're about knowledge, preparation, relationships, and knowing how to create opportunities. And that is so, so true. So I am going to welcome Mr. Eli to the stage. Hey, Mr. Eli, how you doing? You on mute. Uh-oh. You on mute.
Oh, you can hear me now?
Yep, we gotta bring that back. Do that shot of adrenaline again. Come on.
Absolutely. Hey, Athenia, thank you so much for having me. I'm very excited to be on the platform today. Yeah, we're gonna have an awesome time on this call.
I am, yes. So all of that. How did you get, I'm jumping all around because I want to know more now about the Five Towns, right? So how did you get connected with Five Towns? Are you an alum of Five Towns, or like what was the connection? How did you get into that?
So as far as Five Towns goes, I've always been familiar with it because music school, entertainment school. So my older brother actually went there back in the day, and as I was journeying down the nonprofit road and incorporating the Tour Live tour into it, I ended up meeting some great professors and some great students specifically that wanted me to come in and talk to do a few workshops on music marketing, specifically leadership in the music space. And after one of those talks last spring, so yeah, spring 2025, one of the professors was like, hey, we have a few openings and, we would love to see if you're interested. And then, T's got crossed, I's got added, I's got dotted.
Got it. Yeah, I got you.
And, yeah, I became an adjunct professor last fall, and I'll be going into my second semester now in September.
Dope. Okay, we're gonna dive a little bit more into that because funny enough, like that was my Chat GPT question of the week. Like, how do I become an adjunct professor at my local colleges? So I'm gonna definitely dive into that in a minute. But first, I want to learn a little bit about all of the things. So you got all of these acronyms. So talk to us about Shot of Adrenaline. What is that? Where does that come from?
Oh man, so Shot of Adrenaline is my stage name. I am a rapper and a songwriter, and I've had that name since I was around 9 or 10 years old. So it really speaks to the energy that I put forth in my music and specifically on stage. That's really where my home is. That's where I feel the most comfortable, but it's also turned to be the place where I could actually speak my mind, even off record. So Shot of Adrenaline really speaks to the tenacity, the energy behind what I'm doing, whether it be, making you dance in a club or making you get up out your bed and, go stand for something. So yeah, it follows me in every aspect of my life.
Okay, so you said most comfortable. So I'm going to go out on a limb and say, can you drop some bars for us? Can we hear a little something?
Yeah. Long money, short tempers. Who you thought was the victim? I ain't did a lot the cause, bro. Nah, God picked them. Something off in the water. Made monsters out of the children. I beat the odds, but that don't mean I ain't going back to get even. Fire upon the establishment. No unity when it's cash to get. I'm 40 acres down. NYC gave me a box to rent. Red lines, blue lights. Whoop, whoop. White power trip. They got rich in the matrix. I went for broke, getting out of it. Can't feel my pain, blind to my perspective. Hottest life to cheapest, yet the diaper's so expensive. My motivation hit different, dog. 401k just to spit it, y'all. Some are soft, get blicks involved in coupons when they run the charge. Something like that.
That was something like, yes. Or what they do? Hold on, wait. What they do now? Yes. All right, Shot of Adrenaline. I like that. Off the cuff. Totally like not prepared for it. So I appreciate you for jumping in because some people be like, I
No,
don't know. And I'm
man.
like,
Nah.
like if this is who you are, you gotta be ready.
Thank
So you
you.
ain't gotta get ready.
All the time. And I'm so glad that you did that though, because it does separate folks. And yeah, man, that's probably the biggest lesson I've had to learn is if you're really gonna be about this, and you better be about it. And you know,
Mm.
be upset when someone says you're not. You gotta prove it.
Absolutely, that proving it part. So talking about proving it, you talked about your I guess experiences with Hot 97 and Rock Nation. Can you share a little bit about what exactly you did in those spaces? How did people want to know how'd you get the hookup?
You know what? That's a great question, man. It's a great question. So I've done a lot of internships throughout my collegiate career.
Okay.
A lot based on just me going outside, networking, putting myself out there. And in 2013, which was the year I graduated college, I ended up getting my final internship at Rock Nation. Now, granted, I did not, full transparency, I didn't apply. I didn't have a hookup. One day I was in my dorm room with my roommate, Ak. What's up, Ak? And I was like, yo, we're watching First Take, and I got a email from such and such at Rock Nation, and I read it thinking like, all right, it's probably spam, but it looked
Mhm.
real. So I turned over to Ak. I was like, yo, what do you think of this? Showed him the laptop, and he was like, even if it's fake, what's the worst that could happen? That must have happened on a Monday or Tuesday. I went in for an interview that Friday, and I got a digital marketing internship that following week. Now I mention all that because I ended up getting in that space based on reference.
Mhm.
To this day, I don't know who exactly referred me, but I put two and two together, and a few folks have definitely put in a good word, which really speaks to the ambition that I had being a young college student, getting outside, knowing my value, but also putting myself in the music business by being in the door. Sometimes the door isn't the one that you're knocking on.
Yep.
I was trying to go over to Viacom, especially back then. I'm like, yo, I'm on MTV, BET, but
Mhm.
somebody in the Most High had a different plan for me in
Absolutely.
terms of my how my skills can be leveraged. So because I was doing digital marketing work, I was already at places like Black Enterprise, Our Black Entertainment, places like that. I guess I show and proved myself in a way that matched what they were looking for over at Rock, and I was over there for quite some time. Shout out to Maurice Slade. He was my digital marketing supervisor. He's now over at SoundCloud, pretty much running SoundCloud. So, yeah,
Nice.
that's how that came about. So there really wasn't any hookup. It was really just about me hitting the ground running, being in the right places at the right time, and being myself.
I beg to differ because you've been dropping, you said most high, you dropped in your rap about God, so I'm gonna lean on the fact that you are a believer.
Mm.
Is
Yeah,
that correct?
yeah.
Okay.
I honestly, I've come from a pretty spiritual background growing up where there hasn't been many opportunities where I couldn't believe that something else wasn't up there. So I've called the Most High different names over the years, but the sentiment is the same. That's a power source. That's the energy source. I don't think
Absolutely.
it's I don't think it's any coincidence that I go by adrenaline and deep down, I channel that energy. So, I'm very grateful for the blessings, but also the challenges that help me to open my eyes up to the wisdom.
I love that. And I just wanted to make the connection because this is something that I've been dabbling in this week as Bible study has been like my identity in God in Christ, right? And where my relationship, knowing that I am his, that I come from this space, that I'm able to have this authority in the places in the rooms that I walk into. I don't shy away from things, but stand firm in who I am.
Yeah.
So just talking about as you brought up is what it sounded like relationships were important.
Yeah.
How have relationships helped you to grow your business? And then we'll talk a little bit about what Traction Media is about.
Oh man. So it's Take Action Media. It's spelled pretty
Oh,
peculiar.
take action.
Yeah,
Okay,
Take Action.
got you.
Yeah.
Take action media. Got it.
So the power of relationships. It reminds you that no one man is an island.
Hmm.
You can't do this thing by yourself, especially in the music or entertainment space. And then fast forward, being in the nonprofit world, you definitely have to incorporate your community. So for me, it really showed me the power of delegation. It showed me that your mind is meant to expand, but not just by yourself. Some of my hardest challenges as an executive director, as a artist, whatever the leading title is, it's always been okay. I have the vision. I could do all this stuff by myself because I've done it before. But what came of that? I was burnt out.
Hmm.
I was foggy, or there just things weren't flowing
Yeah.
organically. So leaning into my relationships really opened my eyes up to how important community is and how much of the community I am a part of if I have access to these people. So, whether it's the example about Rock Nation I gave earlier, and not knowing how my impact on people would be and where it would take me, it's always remembering that your impact is felt whether you feel present or not. So taking that deep breath and recognizing who is around you and what can they do. How can we collaborate? How can I take what I've envisioned and bring it to a larger platform based on incorporating other people? So I'm really excited that I had to, create those moments for myself. Uh,
Hmm.
and I'm also grateful for the people who gave me grace and, were patient with me along the way.
So when you say had to be patient with you, I think so. I was talking earlier about this program that we're doing, a leadership program, and it's called Wild, right?
Nice.
The Wild Leadership Program. So when you said like having grace and like those are the things that came to mind to me. What does like
Like
being
being
a
a
wild
wild
leader
leader
look like
look
for
like
you?
for you?
Wow. What does being a wild leader look like to me? Um, Someone who doesn't edit their intuition. Being a wild leader is somebody that recognizes the jungle around them and is resourceful. And lastly, being a wild leader is somebody that dares to be themselves in the midst of a lot of clones and bots and AI these days. Because sometimes AI could be people, real people, and how they think. It's not just a computer or software. A lot of people have been AI bots, just followers, super followers. And to be a wild leader, you have to have enough courage to stand out there on your own, but also recognize the people in the world around you.
Love
Love
that.
that.
So
So
talk to
talk
us
to us
about
about
Take
Take
Action
Action
Media.
Media.
Yeah. So
Mhm.
Take Action Media is a media company I started around 2017 as a means to distribute my own music, as a means to work on creative and collaborative projects with other artists and creatives, and of course to be able to provide video and audio services to that same market. When we talk about the music business or just being a business person, ownership is such an important factor, but it's not the end all be all. So I mentioned being able to collaborate with other artists and creatives because I knew in my mind I could contribute way more than just editing or performing. I wanted to be able to create strategy for folks that were able that can help bring their career to the next level. And throughout the years, we've been able to do that, whether it's working with small businesses and doing their social media strategy and content, whether it's been working with other artists for their album rollouts, performance rollouts, or even just shooting music videos, editing. All of these things not only kept me in a creative space, but also gave me leverage. Keyword leverage to always be able to be self-sustainable. So I believe every artist or every creative at some point has gotten to a place where they had to question, like, am I doing everything I can to make my project successful or to make my career successful? And when I got to that crossroads, or to those crossroads, that was a question that came up. How am I going to leverage all the things that I can do? How can I leverage my talent? And almost a decade later, I'm very proud to say we've been able to expand our services. We've also been able to maintain the crux of our mission. And, now we're here servicing creative small businesses all over New York and beyond.
Dope. So what is the Two Alive tour? And where have y'all toured to?
All right. So, essentially, the Two Alive tour started off as the Two Alive for Suicide tour back in 2016. Now, I launched that because I wanted to merge music and social and emotional learning to bring more attention to suicide awareness. As someone who's journeyed down that very dark road as a young person, I wanted to use my network and my performance abilities to shine light on alternative means to deal with depression, bullying, and of course self-harm. So we were going in and out of different high schools doing pep rallies. I'm talking like 7:30, 8 o'clock in the morning. You're hearing Migos booming out the auditorium. And it's like, oh, okay, well, what's going on here today? And, I would bring in different industry professionals from around the workforce to kind of speak power to using your strengths as your experience, and being able to look at the challenges you may be going through, even silently, in regards to suicide, as having a reason to get up out of bed today. And if, coming to this pep rally unexpectedly kept you on this planet longer, so be it. Our job is done. Once COVID hit and changed the whole world, we couldn't go in and out of the schools like we were at that time. So I ended up creating a curriculum that spoke to the social and emotional learning aspect that we were talking about during the shows, which turned into a course, which turned into a digital community that we now have called the Ironclad Intern Course. We have a guidebook, which is a pocket version, but then also the digital version that young professionals, not just high school and college students, can use to be able to embody those principles of self-awareness, social awareness, all 5 of the SEL principles, but also to maintain that integrity of knowing why you got out of bed every day, to prevent things like suicidal ideations or just negative lifestyle choices to come to fruition.
You are on fire. I'm definitely gentlemen.
Thank you.
You are more of a side of adrenaline. You're like a whole cup.
Yeah. The whole tank. Absolutely. Absolutely.
You have so much that you are already offering to the community, doing things that you're pouring into our young people, especially those who are experiencing different challenges. Give me 1 second. I'm getting feedback. Are you getting feedback on your end?
Oh no, I'm all good over here.
Okay, just good.
Okay.
All right. So I wanted to go a little bit deeper into what you were saying. So this month for us has been about like the how behind and the why. You talked a little bit about like your why, like you experiencing in your own life depression and then wanting to utilize some talents to kind of express that.
Yeah.
What are 3 things that you can give to someone who may be in a dark space, and how you took that dark space and kind of transitioned into something powerful that you could help others? What would 3 things be that some principle or something that they can stand on to say, I can see that. I could probably do that.
Spectacular question. One would be to be intentional about learning breath work. When you're anxious or you have a high level of anxiety or stress, the only thing that brings you back to the now is focusing on your breath. I know it sounds like super yogi and all this stuff, but I promise, because I was the person, I'm like, I bet I know how to breathe, bro. Like, I can figure it out. But it's really once you start to realize, oh, okay, okay, this is bigger than just me being stressed out. I have to be able to make the right decisions for myself in this very moment. So being able to focus on your breath, that brings you back to the present. Two, I would say latch on to something, recognize and latch on to something that you love, because the pursuit of that is going to now fill your time productively. It's not giving you busy work, it's giving you real life work. It doesn't matter how big or how small that thing that you love is, focusing on it and working towards making it more successful, more effective, more fruitful, that will give you a sense of purpose. And then third, I would say connect with people that show you that they have your best interests at heart. Not looking for people that you think love you or that you think are your friends. Connect with the people who are showing you they actually care. And whether you know what to do with them or not, just be there. Just the state of being is what really allows people to now be able to meet you where you're at. So you may not have to do all the work because you don't have the energy. We've all been there. So I would say those are my top three things.
Got it. So it
So
is
it is
saying
saying
people are
people are
sharing that
sharing
they
that they
get an
get an
echo.
echo.
So
So when I talk, if you can mute on your end.
Gotcha.
Okay. Yep. Much better. All right. Thank you. All right. So thank you for that. You said focus on your breath work, which is like simple, but not, because we feel like you said, you like, I know how to do that, bro. Like I breathe every day.
Like it's, you know.
Yeah, absolutely.
But I totally appreciate that. Latch on to something that you love, purpose, and connect with people that have your best interests at heart. And I feel like, whoa, that hit deep for me. Because people are around you for what you can produce for them a lot of times, right? Or the value that they see in the relationships that you have. And I think I forget who talked about it in their raps, but I know, a lot of people are like, it's difficult when you start to move up the ranks and you start to become famous. And, it's like you don't really know who's for you or who's there because you could provide something for them or you could fill a void or a gap or financially, whatever it is. So can you talk about like how do you even identify like connecting with people that are for your best interest?
Got to get outside. You got to have some real conversations with people, and of course you would want to start with your immediate network. And if you find yourself in a space where like you're telling yourself no one understands, no one sees what I'm going through, you have to ask yourself res- respectfully, have I been showing people? People are not telepathic. People aren't walking around just knowing what you're saying, what you're thinking and feeling. And, that could be disheartening sometimes, especially if it's family and you kind of have an expectation for them to get you. You know, as time goes on, whether through age or even through wisdom, you have to be more forthcoming about who you are and what you are. That way, people can now treat you accordingly. My dad, God rest his soul, used to always say, like, you deal with people accordingly. Just because they're mean to you doesn't mean you got to be mean to them, but you got to let them know and show them that, yeah, this what you're doing right now with me, that's not gonna work. And there's such a civilized way to do it. There's emotionally competent ways to do it. And I think overall, people just have to be willing to be vulnerable. And before you can be vulnerable with other people, you got to look in that mirror and say, yo, I'm not okay today. And it's okay that I'm not okay. But I do need to be okay. And then once you make that declaration, the universe is just going to do what it got to do because it feels your energy. Your energy does not die. It does not die. So, I really think that would be the crux of, my suggestion.
I love it. So, it's echoing again. Okay. Good. So another thing that you talked about we went over the relationships part, but I want you to go a little bit deeper in the relationships piece because what stands out for me is like I'm around a lot of individuals that have resources that are connected to some big people. And they too, like, I feel like, especially for us, and again, talking about that identity piece, right? That we have this identity complex that we have. We know people, but we don't know how to engage with the people that we know. How did you bring people into a space and be able to identify, like, I know, like, yeah, I know some big name individuals, but like, I don't know how to tap into them in a way that might benefit me or even benefit the community, and that might not make them feel like I'm abusing my power of my relationship with them as well. So can you talk about how were you masterful in doing that?
Number one, they know you just as much as you know them. All for it. Because like that's where imposter syndrome comes in. If I have this person's number in my phone but they happen to be, social status wise super 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 high up, that doesn't mean anything because they have my number too. If Please believe if they needed something from you, they would call. But we oftentimes feel like because we're not of equal status or we're in need of something that we don't deserve help. I think that is the first way to keep yourself buried, if not bury yourself. So for me, it was that sentiment that really snapped me out of like just doing everything by myself and telling people, number one, showing people that this is what I got going on. Before I can ask you to invest your time, funds, network into me, I got to show you that I'm serious about what I'm doing. So if you see me doing a pop-up shop, you see me doing a performance, you see me running a program or whatever it is, there's proof of concept. So now when I reach out to you, and I show you that, hey, this is what we got going on. If you're able to contribute, I would love if you can support in this way. If not, please, let's hop on a call. Just inviting folks to be part of the vision, that's enough. And, it's hella nerve-wracking. I'm not going to act like it's just some, send a text and everything is fine. Nah, like, you really got to look at your phone, at that number, and be like, okay, they did tell me, hit me up if you need anything. Most people are gonna do that, so I'm gonna hit you up because I need something. And not feeling like being transactional is just this one-way street. You got to know like eventually that person is going to ask you, well, okay, I have something else coming up. How do you think you can be a part of this? Being open to that collaboration, that's going to give you those big time partnerships that you're looking for because you had the audacity to be yourself. You had the audacity to ask. But more importantly, you had the audacity to not listen to your lower version of yourself. Action is really what separates people, and especially the people who can help. They want to know that you're willing to bet on yourself, even if that bet is calling me at 1:30 in the afternoon when you have no idea what I'm doing, but you left a voicemail and then you sent the email and then you texted me. Just having the audacity to let people know what it is you have going on by taking the first step and making that thing a real action. So, yeah.
You dropping some jewels, Eli, like some straight jewels. In this space, I hope everyone is taking notes and really getting this content. I'm gonna switch gears a little bit because we are in the age of technology, and a couple of months ago we focused on just how people are using technology in their business. And I would love to hear from you because everything right now, like AI is king, queen, it's all of it. Like if you're not using AI in your business is almost nil right now. So talk to us about what you're doing to use AI in your business.
Yes, great question. So, number one, AI is a tool. AI does not beat HI. Human intelligence still reigns supreme. We're still top of the food chain for the time being. Let's hope it stays that way. But I would say every small business, every creator should or creative should be implementing AI as a means of a tool. So like if I have to hang something up on the wall, I know I need a nail and a hammer. Boom, it's on the wall now. How that equates to you expanding your reach to potential clients. Hey, you can have AI do a comprehensive breakdown of all the specific for a specific demographic and their spending habits in your particular neighborhood, and then compare it to the greater city demographic. So now you can get a better idea of who exactly is closest to you, as opposed to the greater demo that you have to work towards. Something like that you can do yourself on Google and go through 90,000 pages on Google to find it, or you can figure out how to do some basic prompt engineering that will allow you to use the AI as a personal assistant as opposed to your brain. Because once you get that information from the AI about those demos, now you can easily put that into your marketing plan. Now you can disperse that to maybe your development team. Or if it's just you, now you can be more targeted at how you create content, how much money you're putting into paid ads or into your SEO. These are just very insular examples of how AI can take away the weight of being a business owner without taking away the responsibility. We have to be open to our minds being more open to using this technology so we don't get left behind. Everybody is not gonna turn into the Elon Musk of AI. That's just not realistic. Some people only use it to look up analytics. Some people use it to compare their work to anything that's come before them, so they can, broker the originality or broker what's been done or what has or hasn't been done. These are ways that we have to start thinking about using artificial intelligence, as opposed to just letting it be something we talk about when we see bots or when we, are nervous about sharing information. Most of these tech companies, if you got an iPhone right now, they already got your info. And you know why they got your info? Because most of us out here don't know how to actually use our settings to protect ourselves. They give us the cheat code. They give us how to do it. But most of us either don't want to read the terms and conditions, or none of us is going through our settings and going to the security panel. So whose fault is that? Is that AI or is that HI? So we really got to take a little bit more initiative in preparing and protecting ourselves.
So Eli, I don't know who got the time to be reading through all these daggone things that they got going on.
Put it in the AI. Let them create a little breakdown for you. Hey, take these terms and conditions. Give me bullet points that's understandable for a 10th grader. Are you kidding me? That's all you need to do. Because once you have that, it simplifies the process. And now you're not missing out on anything. You're still sharp. And above all, you're deepening your digital literacy.
And you're even more informed. And you're so true. Now I put everything. Let me tell you, my husband and I were able to get a brand new transmission for free because we used ChatGPT to find a loophole for a contract that a company had created. So when I talk, they were trying to charge us $25,000. I'm like, the car's not even worth $25,000, and you're gonna charge me $25,000 for a new transmission, and we got a brand new one. And they were like, oh my gosh, how did you find it? So it's like, don't worry about it. I said, me and my best friend, we talk. So now I put every contract through, and I'm like, what are the loopholes? What am I missing? My chatty, I call it chatty. My chatty knows me. It knows all of my kids, my husband. It knows our whole life. So I'm like, what am I missing? What do I need to have? What kind of insurance do I need to have that I'm missing out on that you need to make sure that I'm making sure that even when I do my events, when I do Juneteenth, I'm like, okay, is this insurance enough for the things that we're going to be doing when we're putting this event on? And it's come back and it's like, you're missing this or you're missing that. So yeah, you utilizing it as a tool. I love that you said that and being able to share that in the space as a tool. I had one question I'm trying to see. Oh, so I had a couple of questions about our youth. So going back to our youth and just trying to get them in the space of being creatives. This past weekend, I'm out here in Georgia. We just did Biz Savvy Artist Academy, and we did a whole creative meetup where we talked about AI. We talked about using art as a way to for artists and for just individuals to kind of, like we said, breath work, ground yourself, like, you know, using different ways, using your expression to ground yourself. So people who are creatives, I feel like they don't get the respect. We don't get the respect that we deserve. So what are some ways that you can maybe tell youth to prepare as they're going into, as they're growing, like going into high school, going into college, like what should they look out for?
Okay, so I'm gonna say you've got to treat your gift like a business, even when it's small. Like, even if it's super small, because that means learning the craft and the industry around it. The money, the rights, the brand, the rights you have access to, the branding, the relationships. You know, talent gets you in a room, which for a lot of creatives, it's going to do. A lot of people have never seen the things that you can create. And once you post it or once you print it out, people are instantly going to gravitate towards you. But the professionalism is what keeps you there. It's what keeps you in that room and keeps you moving forward. So, you know, being consistent, that's probably one of the roots, because the world only rewards the people who keep showing up after the excitement wears off. So some of the ways that you can maintain that consistency is through collaboration with your peers. I don't care how nice you think you are on the mic, bro. Like, you're not. And the pursuit to find people that can complement your talents, whether it's on a production end or even as a feature, if we're just keeping it to music, that is what's going to that's what's going to brighten your light, essentially. If it's you wanting to be, you know, a business owner or an engineer, that peer-to-peer mentoring, not just collaboration, but the peer-to-peer mentoring, it goes along with horizontal networking. And in the business world, that's how folks really move up. Because look, what if I call that person who say, yeah, call me at any time, because they're up here and they don't answer? All right, well, let me connect with the people that are like-minded on my level. Let's share resources, share our network, and before you know it, we have 20 and 30-year relationships that we can now utilize. I always hear, you know, these older executives, especially in the entertainment space, talk about, yeah, you know, in '97 I just started at this label and I was interning here, and then me and this person ended up becoming this. Well, you and that person only became that because you stuck together. And maybe it's because the internet is so vast that we don't take full advantage of it, that we forget that it's also going to expedite the process of us having peer-to-peer relationships. So for those young people who are looking to get into business, regardless of what the industry is, utilize the people around you. Find the version of you in the next state over. Once you get past the ego of it all, because we all got the ego and it's okay, we got to acknowledge that. Once we get past that, then you have somebody that's just as ambitious and just as sharp. So you don't have to do all the work, and vice versa. So, you know, there is no set formula that I can give young people to say, hey, this is what's, you know, going to make you successful. But the thing that is going to catapult you into a space that will help you be successful is that peer-to-peer interaction, being consistent, but also leveraging your talent to get into the room, and then creating systems, you know, through professional means to keep you there.
Some real good stuff. First of all, that being consistent part that you just mentioned, would you say being consistent is probably one of the roots, because the world only rewards the people who keep showing up after the excitement wears off?
Yes.
That right there, that's like mic drop. Like that right there. I was just talking to somebody the other day, because one of my board members actually, and they were just talking about like how, you know, at Juneteenth, now that it became a national holiday, everybody's doing Juneteenth stuff. And it's like, how do we compete with that? And I was like, we just stay the course. I was like, what do you mean? And I was like, we were here before everybody. and we're gonna be here after everybody. And that's what everybody's gonna focus on, the fact that we're still in the game and that we have been able to be consistent. We've been able to find resources to maintain until we can get over the hump. Because everybody, people just on the hype man right now. They on it because it's hype, because it's cool, because Juneteenth, that's the new it thing that everybody's doing. But once the hype dies down and we still doing it, that's where the real relationships come.
I love that, especially because Juneteenth is widely just looked at as a holiday, as opposed, or like a commemorative day, as opposed to a year-round effort to recognize the fact that, hey, had to like people had to be forced to let people have their freedom. So this is a reminder year round that your freedom is abundant. And it comes through community efforts like this, whether it's hopping on live, activating in different cities. These are the things that remind people that culture, specifically Black culture, is not a monolithic thing. It's not something that we celebrate momentarily. You know, being able to be in Georgia and me be here in New York City, like this is a very, 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 very specific wish that our ancestors had that they had no idea would come to fruition like this. You know, so we can't take it for granted. The consistency for with Juneteenth as an organization, I think you're just you embody all of it. So now it's just a matter of having people recognize that this is not just a day. It's not just a couple days to celebrate. Juneteenth ain't gonna turn into Memorial Day weekend where it's just we go out and party and barbecue. That's gonna be part of it, but that's not the root of it, and we're never gonna lose that.
Oh man, Eli, like you just like I'm like, yep, that monolithic thought, like all of it. I'm just like, yes, so much on the same pathways. It's so much that you're saying because I'm like, yeah, this and you just definitely hit the nose on the head because I'm like, this is just the beginning for me. Like God has put in my spirit so much that he's like, this is going to be like blow the ancestors' socks off. And like, he just keeps reminding me of just all of the things. 2 years ago, it poured down rain, like for our Juneteenth festival. I mean, like rain, like all day, like drenched rain. And all the ancestors could tell me was, but guess what? We had to be out in the rain. Like we didn't get the choice to stay inside because it was pouring down rain or because it was 100 and something degree weather. So it was just a reminder to touch back into our ancestors and all of the things that they have gone through, what they've experienced, how they had to live. Like I am going through different transitions, and for me, it's so that I can speak the voices of our ancestors that don't get to share their story. So you're just saying that just yes.
No, that's alignment right there. We are so aligned on this.
Absolutely, absolutely. So as we are coming to the end, this has been so dope and so amazing. Just having you on and just being able to just talk. And like I said, we was gonna go a script. Like this wasn't gonna be like
No, I love this. This was so much better.
Because he was like, I got the script, I got the questions. I'm like, yeah, but no. I'm like, only you know your business. Like people, I'm like, I'm not talking about nothing but you. You, like just talk from the heart. Because that's what people want to hear. People are tired of like the perfectionism that we see on Instagram and on social media. And it's like, I want a space where I could just come and I can understand the real you. Like, how did you really get to where you are? Like, like you said, like I just shoot my shot. Like I sent the message and it was like, I don't know if this is real, but and I've had so many of those moments too, where I was like, I don't know if this is real. Like you really calling me, you asking me for services? Like, okay, I don't know if I can do it, but you know what, God, you brought it to me, so you're gonna take me through it.
Exactly. That's what it's here for. It's like most times I think people forget what they pray for. That's why they get surprised when they get certain things. But like if you remember, it's just you don't even celebrate. You kind of just be like, yeah, thank you. And then you get moving.
Absolutely. And I just wanted, before I ask you this last question, I just wanted to say you're right, because I had a conversation maybe a couple of years ago. Somebody was like, "What's your 5-year plan?" I was like, "You know what? I want to see myself in Times Square. Like, I just want to see my picture on Times Square." And then we got the opportunity, we got a call to ring the bell in Times Square. And we had at time, I don't know if you've ever rung the bell before, and that was the first time I never even experienced this. So we went and spoke, but before we went and took pictures, and it was like, "We need you to go outside." It was like, "Go outside." It was like, "Go outside and see your pictures." So we went outside and still saw our pictures, and all of the pictures of my entire team was blasted in the middle of Times Square. And all I could do was praise him, because I was like, this is not what I was thinking. Like, I wasn't expecting this, but you made it happen. And so, just being able to say things, to be in spaces with people, and nobody who I was around at that time was the person who helped that to happen, but God. Like, so that's always
Yeah, you can't expect human results from a God or from God. That's just like that's part of the humbleness. However you choose to praise or believe, like the creator is a creator for a reason. Like if I create a statue out of Play-Doh, that Play-Doh is never going to be able to dictate me. I'm the creator of it. So if I'm now in a space where like I'm asking for something, and it's get, or I ask and I earn something and it's being given to me, how can I doubt that this was possible? But that comes in time and wisdom, and in a lot of ways success. And just seeing that, yeah, you are valuable and you are worthy of all the things you ask for. You just gotta treat yourself like it.
in the faith, just believing believing that you can do it as well.
Yeah.
So our before I ask my last question, do you have anything that you want to add that I didn't ask you, that you want to share to the community? Anything that you want to add?
I know we touched on a little bit about the Tour Alive tour, and the work that I do there. But we have an internship program that is hybrid, so we are able to work with different business partners to provide them the intern talent while also upskilling those interns. So the Ironclad Intern course, folks can do that whether they're a part of the internship cohort or not. That's for any young professional, any young folks that are looking to learn a little bit more about the nuance of success in the workplace, specifically if they're looking to be entrepreneurs or even intrapreneurs, which are people that advance through companies from the inside. We also have a songwriters clinic as our first rollout of our music and entertainment programs. So, we never wanted to stray away from the art of expression, the power of expression. So, if folks are interested in learning more about our programs that go year round, or even partnering on different levels. Like we just finished up the New York City Summer Youth Employment Program, and it looks like we're going to continue in a few other areas. We are available to do that for different cities in different territories. And then, of course, if you're looking for a speaker, whether it be keynote, leading workshops, anything of that nature, you can go to the touralivetour.org that you see on your screen now, or you can go to eliallaccess.com for any information on speaking engagements and bookings. So, yeah. Outside of that, yeah, I'll be around. You guys can find me, and I'll be here.
Dope. We just dropped all your information in the chat.
Yep, ELIallaccess.com and touralivetour.org.
Amazing. So the last question that we asked everybody is, what does June mean to you?
Juneteenth to me means freedom without bounds. And the bounds that I think mean the most when it comes to Juneteenth is the mental ones. You know, Marcus Garvey said best, emancipate yourself from mental slavery. You know, Bob Marley, none but ourselves can free our minds. You know, that's because we don't know we're free until we choose to be free. We think freedom is a circumstance when freedom is a choice, not in the sense of bondage or in the sense of not being able to be who we want, but in modern times, we have to choose to use the tools that we have at our disposal to remain free. We are already free. We are already free. We are already free. So when it comes to acting accordingly, we got to do the things that are going to allow us to remain that way, and being able to help each other, especially in spaces where it's very hard to see that freedom. I've done a lot of work when it comes to system impacted folks, and I could tell you for a fact, it starts up here. It starts up here. And I want nothing more for my people, for the diaspora, to recognize that freedom is not circumstance. Freedom is in the responsibilities we take every day. Freedom is how we choose to talk to ourselves in the mirror. Freedom is how we talk to each other in conflict. Freedom is being able to look at what history was and to really make sure that the darker parts of history never have an opportunity to see light of day, because we exist with our light.
That's right. I love that. That was dope. That was beyond what I could imagine as a response. And um, yeah, we are free, and a big part of it is just being able to mentally know that we're free and to continue to keep our circumstances that way. Too many times we put our own we dig ourselves into a hole instead of standing on top and building the mountain to stand on top of.
Absolutely. It's like have you ever like got the feeling that you're flying and then you realize like, oh crap, I'm flying. Like that thing in your stomach, that thing in your chest, the thing that reminds you like, oh, I am alive. Wait a second. I why am I looking down and my feet are in the air? Like I'm flying. That can happen anytime. It can happen at any time. Especially for black folks, we are already flying. So stop acting like we're drudging through the mud. Like if you feel like you are, pick your head up and look how far up you are.
Oh. So I did have one question, Eli. So you talked about the sessions being available online. Is it a charge? Is it free? What is that look like?
Yeah, so to join the Two Alive community on School, it's SKOOL. The School community is free to join. The guidebook is up for purchase on the Two Alive website, and we have free access to our programs for young folks. So whether it be through the internship program, whether it be the Songwriters Clinic, whether it be through our workshops, all of the lunch and learns, virtual workshops, all those are free. So if you are looking from an administrative standpoint in bringing folks to the school, we can that's a separate conversation. But as far as the young people being able to get access to the content, that is free for them. So they can find all that on the To Alive Tour website, as well as on the school community, which I'll drop a link for as well.
Cool. Thank you. Thank you very much. I am complete. If the community doesn't have any other questions to ask Eli, we're going to say thank you so much for your time. We appreciate you. This was amazing. Your energy is absolute.
Thank you so much for having me. This was honestly a great way to spend my day. Not even gonna lie to you.
Oh, I appreciate that. Thank you. I'm going to put you backstage, Eli. Don't leave though, because I want to connect with you before you go, and while I close this out. Uh, Thank you. Oh my gosh. I hope y'all got a lot out of this today, y'all. Like I was so thoroughly blessed in so many ways. I was kind of like feeling drudgy today, and just being on here with Eli really really got me. Like, he gave me some of his adrenaline. So like that adrenaline came through the screen. So I hope it came through the screen to you as well, that you walked away learning something about purpose, learning something about freedom, learning something about who and how you can manifest your future or your now. It don't even have to be in the future. You can manifest your now. What is it that you want to see happen? What can you put in front of you? What can you write down that you want to see tomorrow happen? And literally, I have written things down. I've prayed about something, and the next day, somebody just miraculously calls me with the thing that I wrote down. And it speaks to nobody else but the paper and God. And so I know, like, He is real. And if you don't know, find a relationship with your Most High, most High, for sure. So thank you to every young person watching today, to every adult, to every melanated person who is watching today. Don't wait for someone else to give you permission to pursue your purpose. Go and do it. Learn, connect, create. We are all creatives. Whatever it is that you do to create it and take the opportunity. And when you find a door, remember to hold it open for someone coming behind you. Don't just be crabs in a barrel. Don't have that mindset, that mentality of scarcity, but have a mindset of abundance. When you pour out, someone else is going to pour into you. Your passion can become your profession. Your experience can become your expertise. So continue to be consistent, because once you're consistent in something, that's where the expertise comes in. Just think about it. Whatever, like Eli said, something small that you just continue to focus on, nobody else is focusing on it. So now you become the expert because you've been focusing on it consistently. And that's where your blessings come from. So thank you, Eli, for reminding us that when we live with intention, create with courage, and invest in the next generation, we don't just build careers, we build legacies. God bless you all, and we'll see you next week. Have a good one, everyone.
You need a full-time job for health insurance is actually a myth. As a travel nurse in New York, I used to get so stressed out about health insurance in between contracts until I found out about New York State of Health. They make it easier, more affordable, and are a trusted resource to accessing and managing your health insurance. And what's great is that there's a plan for everyone. And enrollment assisters and brokers are here to help online, by phone, or even help in person. So check out New York State of Health to learn more and stay up to date on your health insurance needs.